And the winner of the 2012 Telstra Regional Award is John Nitschke Drilling.
Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As a country girl born and bred, it is a great honour to accept this award on behalf of JND, particularly as it coincides with our Golden Jubilee. JND is proudly based on a farm near Harndorf in the Adelaide Hills, South Australia, and more recently we have set up branches in regional Western Australia and Queensland. For 50 years we have serviced as outback communities, pastoralists and farms, the wine, mining and energy industries. We are based in and work in regional and remote Australia. The majority of our staff live outside of cities. When John and I first married, he took his new bride to the wild west of Australia, outback Northern Territory in the 1960s. Together with one outsider, we worked side by side in extreme conditions. We lived in a 21-foot rugged caravan with very little access to fresh water, let alone fresh food. The wildlife was often a formidable challenge, with crocodiles-infested waters, the biggest rats I've ever seen, huge goannas that would lap water out of my toddler's swimming pool while he paddled, too close for my comfort. Over the past 50 years, JND has gone from a husband and wife team running a single rig to a family-run business operating 15 rigs and employing 160 staff, and Jonathan, our son, as the CEO. Fortunately for our staff, the working conditions have dramatically improved over the years, despite still working in challenging, remote and isolated parts of Australia. John Nitschke Drilling was the first drilling contractor in Olympic Dam in the early 80s during the mineral exploration work for what it is now as Roxby Downs. In accepting this award, I'd like to acknowledge the great team behind JND. Without them, we wouldn't be regional success story we are today. Grateful thanks to Telstra for supporting the regional business category and highlighting all the great Australian businesses who are thriving outside the capital cities and are well represented by our fellow contestants here tonight. I'd like to also acknowledge the generous sponsorship of News Limited. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and wonderful for Telstra to put on such a fantastic awards, and good luck to everybody in the future. Thank you.